President Trump is looking for a new chief of staff after his top pick to replace General John Kelly decided against taking the job. After much speculation, President Trump confirmed Kelly will leave his post by the end of the year.
Vice President Mike Pence's chief of staff, Nick Ayers, was thought to be Kelly's predetermined successor, but Ayers says he, too, will be leaving the administration. Weijia Jiang joins us now from the White House to talk a little bit more about this. So, Weijia, why couldn't President Trump and Ayers come to some sort of an agreement? And who's on the list to replace Kelly now that Ayers is off of it?
Well, Ayers had already expressed his intention to leave, to head back to Georgia, because this 36-year-old has a young family, which includes triplets, and he wanted to get back home so he could spend time with them. But I think President Trump thought that perhaps they could strike a deal because he wanted his chief of staff, whoever it is, to stay through the 2020 reelection campaign. So even though Ayers agreed that he would fill in the position for the short time, President Trump was looking for someone who would commit to at least 2 more years, and Ayers was not prepared to do that. And so that's why they did not strike a deal. But we do know, sources tell us, that there are at least 4 people on the president's short list, and that includes Congressman Mark Meadows from North Carolina, the Office of Management and Budget Director Mick Mulvaney, and Acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker. So we don't know exactly when he will make that announcement. However, over the weekend when he announced General Kelly was leaving, he said that he expects to make one very soon, and the decision could come as early as today.
According to the Brookings Institute, the president has had senior staff turnover at a rate of 62%, Weijia. I remember during the campaign, President Trump, then candidate Trump, saying he was only going to hire the very best people. What is he looking for as he looks for a replacement for General Kelly? Those individuals that you named are all fairly loyal to the president, but I wonder what is he looking for, and more importantly, what is needed as the White House navigates the next couple of years?
Well, sources here say that the president wants somebody with a little more political experience than General Kelly has. He was a retired general and someone who came from a very strict military background, who was brought in to sort of keep the administration in line, given the chaos that we had seen before his arrival. But that didn't exactly work out, because I think another thing the president is looking for is someone who will work with him and accept his ideas, because this is not just any president. This is a very unique figure we haven't seen before. He has a huge personality, as we know, and former staffers among those who have left have been very vocal about why it was difficult to work with him. In fact, remember, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson spoke with CBS News' Bob Schieffer and said the problem is that President Trump wants what he wants, and he doesn't like to be told no, and so he becomes frustrated easily when, those close around him, those advising him, might suggest something other than what he believes is the right thing. Of course, President Trump responded quickly and said that's because Tillerson was lazy as hell and dumb as a rock. And so President Trump wants somebody who he believes has what it takes, and often I think that means believes what he believes and has the same agenda and ways of carrying it out as well. And so it might be tricky to find somebody, but you're right. All these people who are on the short list are loyalists. They are already working in some capacity with him, and they understand, what they may be up against if they do take the job.
Just to point out that interview, Weijia, that you referenced with the former Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and CBS's Bob Schieffer, the former Secretary of State saying that he had to tell the president that what he wanted to do was against the law. So just
At times, yeah. He had to say,
at times.
Yeah, I know what you want to do, but how you want to do it might not be breaking the law. But, to what you said, you talked about the difficulty of keeping this president in line. And certainly there have been reports about not just that, but about the fact that because close family members are part of his cabinet, they may not always follow, sort of what the line of succession or whatever, and they're able to access him directly. So this is supposed to be a really prestigious job, perhaps one of the more powerful jobs in the administration. At least one person has turned it down. Is it not as attractive as it has been in previous administrations?
I think it's more difficult than it has been before because who they are serving. And, that has been made clear in the past as well, that that not only for this particular position, but for others in the administration as well, it's not as easy to fill them because that friction, because President Trump has made so clear that, regardless of the post, at the end of the day, he is running the show. That is why, for example, he many times serves as his own communications director. And there was no eagerness to fill that spot when Hope Hicks left because he does things the way he wants to do them. And even if he has those around him who are meant to be advising him, President Trump marches to the beat of his own instruments. We know that. We've seen that. And so that makes it difficult for whoever is hired on board to carry out their job, because it is very different from the past, because the commander-in-chief now plays many roles. And, President Trump has made clear he believes that he is the one who makes the best decisions.
Well, he's got a short list. I don't know why it always feels a little reality showish every time something like this happens.
Well, I think by design. I mean, I think he likes this. I think he likes, building up the suspense and letting people know when to expect an announcement and what he's looking for, and pitting people against each other. We certainly saw that for the Supreme Court nominees as well, when he revealed them during prime time. And I think that, that is part of his brand, and he understands what gets attention and what people might want to see as he, eliminates people and ultimately picks the chosen one, which we'll see in the next few days who that is.
Indeed. Weijia, thank you so much.
Thank you.